Welcome to Building Intimacy in Your Life. I'm Dr. Toni Bear, if you haven't met me already, and I'm thrilled to take you through this journey of this mini course in our school community. Let's start by defining intimacy. Most people think of it as sex, but it's much more than that. It's about a deep emotional safety, trust, much more than physical touch. Many people assume that intimacy is synonymous with sexual closeness. The Gottman Institute researched this and they showed that emotional intimacy is actually the strongest predictor of a long-term relationship's success. True intimacy requires vulnerability, trust, and mutual understanding, which extends way beyond the bedroom. In fact, most couples, if they prioritize emotional and intellectual intimacy, they'll find that they have a much more fulfilling sex life. So there are four different types of intimacy. Let's talk about each of them and let's think about your own life and how it applies to you. So the first type of intimacy is emotional intimacy. This is where we share our fears, our dreams, and our feelings without judgment. It's what makes friendships and romantic relationships most meaningful. The second type is physical intimacy. This includes affectionate touch, hugs, and even eye contact, not just sexual connection. The third type is intellectual intimacy, and this is about having stimulating conversations, sharing ideas, and exhibiting a curiosity in the relationship. And last but not least is spiritual intimacy. This is connecting through shared values, purpose, and practices, whether it's through religion, meditation, or just simply appreciating the universe together. Building intimacy in these four different areas is not just luck, it is a skill and it can be developed. Neuroscientific studies show us that intimacy strengthens the neural pathways associated with love and security. The more we practice it, the easier it becomes. Relationship experts emphasize that intimacy is an ongoing process, not a one-time achievement. So over this course, you'll learn practical science-backed ideas, strategies to build deeper connections with yourself and others. So look at both the video here, but also take a look at what I have put in the area of the topic, and there's always an exercise. Make sure that you do the exercise before you watch the next segment. Everything builds on one another. I look forward to seeing you in the next slide. Before we build intimacy with others, we need to start within. I know it sounds cliche, but the research backs this up. Research in attachment theory shows us that people with strong self-awareness are better at forming secure, trusting relationships. Now, if we don't understand our own emotions, desires, and boundaries, we struggle to communicate with others. Self-intimacy is truly the foundation of having confidence, relationship satisfaction, and emotional stability. Now, there are three parts to self-intimacy: self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-care. Let's take a look at each one. Self-awareness means recognizing our emotions without having self-judgment. Self-acceptance means embracing your strengths and your imperfections instead of seeking external validation. Self-care is about meeting your own needs, physically, emotionally, and mentally, before prioritizing others. What I find very interesting is that journaling and something called mirror work are research-backed methods for increasing self-intimacy. Studies show that journaling improves emotional regulation and deepens self-awareness. So you're not wasting your time when you do this. Mirror work, which is so difficult for me. Speaking affirmations to yourself in the mirror, that's what that means, has been found to increase self-esteem, reduce negative self-talk. Oh, so let's take a look at your challenge today. Write down 3 things you love about yourself and say them out loud in the mirror tonight. I'll do it too. By deepening your self intimacy, you are laying the foundation for meaningful connection with others. Many people struggle with emotional intimacy. Why? Well, because it requires exposing your true self. But true intimacy means being seen and heard for who you really are. Emotional intimacy is the foundation of deep relationships. According to Dr. Brene Brown, emotional intimacy is built on vulnerability and trust. Studies show that relationships with high emotional intimacy also are more resilient, especially during conflicts. Sharing our emotions, both positive and the difficult ones, strengthens bonds and helps people feel validated and understood. Our fear of vulnerability blocks intimacy, but it can be unlearned. Many people avoid emotional intimacy due to past betrayals or fear of rejection. However, research in psychology suggests that practicing small acts of vulnerability, like expressing feelings, builds confidence in emotional sharing. A simple exercise would be when somebody asks if you're fine, instead of saying, yeah, try sharing one real feeling. These activities where we do active listening and use open-minded questions create emotional closeness. Active listening means fully focusing on someone's words without planning your response while they're talking. This increases our satisfaction in relationships. Asking open-ended questions like, how did that experience make you feel? Fosters deeper emotional connection instead of, was it good or bad? And the answer is good, right? So let's do a challenge. Tonight, have a conversation with somebody where you listen deeply and ask thoughtful questions. Emotional intimacy is a skill that strengthens over time. So let's practice it. Physical intimacy is often misunderstood as just sex, but in reality, it's a vital part of our human bonding that extends far beyond the bedroom. Physical intimacy strengthens the trust and connection that we have with someone through nonverbal communication. Research from the Touch Institute, there really is a thing, shows that affectionate touch reduces cortisol, which is our stress hormone, and increases serotonin and also dopamine, our mood enhancing neurotransmitters. Couples who engage in frequent non sexual touch, such as hand holding, hugging, report higher trust levels and stability in their relationships. Even eye contact and close proximity signal security and connection to our nervous system, reinforcing our attachment bond with somebody. Touch releases oxytocin, also reducing stress and increasing relationship satisfaction. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone, and it's released through physical touch, promoting feelings of closeness and security. A study by the Psychosomatic Medicine Foundation found that couples who engaged in daily affectionate touch experienced significantly lower stress levels and higher relationship satisfaction. Even self touch, such as placing a hand on your heart when feeling overwhelmed, can provide emotional regulation and reduce our anxiety. Last but not least, physical intimacy extends beyond sex. Although I advocate for sex as well, of course. It includes affectionate touch, eye contact, and just someone's presence. Simple acts like a 30-second hug, sitting close to a partner, or maintaining eye contact during a conversation foster intimacy. The Gottman Institute found that successful couples who engage in at least 5 acts of physical connection daily, whether it's touch, gestures, or a shared space, have higher satisfaction in their relationship. So here's my challenge for today. Be intentional today. Offer a long hug, hold someone's hand, or simply place your hand on a loved one's arm while talking. Notice how it deepens your bond. By embracing our physical intimacy, it's and I mean in all of its forms, we can create stronger, more fulfilling relationships. So the fourth type of intimacy is intellectual and spiritual intimacy. And this is actually built on curiosity, deep conversations, and shared learning. Intellectual intimacy stimulates our connection through idea sharing and deep conversations. According to a study from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, couples who engage in thought-provoking discussions experience greater satisfaction and resilience in their relationship. So we can see that it isn't just emotional connection, it's not just physical connection, it is everything all together. So a challenge would be to replace your small talk with something that's a little bit more stimulating. Spiritual intimacy strengthens bonds through shared values and meaning as well. Spiritual intimacy isn't necessarily religious, but it's about finding shared meaning, purpose, and connection to something greater than ourselves. Yeah, the research backs this up as well. The Journal on Family Therapy found that couples and friends who engage in shared rituals, such as meditating together, attending spiritual gatherings, or even morning gratitude reflections, experience greater relational depth. Whether it's discussing life's deeper purpose or simply appreciating nature together, this form of intimacy fosters trust and alignment. Asking deeper questions, well, that also is something that helps with this type of intimacy. The famous 36 questions that lead to love study by Arthur Aaron, something you might want to look up, found that intimacy deepens when people ask meaningful, open-ended questions. Questions like, what's a dream that you've never told anyone? Or maybe what moment in your life shaped you the most, you think? Or what does love mean to you? All of these questions are examples of open-ended questions that are powerful conversation starters. So here's your challenge for today. Ask someone a deep, thought-provoking question and truly listen to their response. By engaging the mind and the spirit, we create connections that go far beyond the surface, leading to richer, more fulfilling relationships. Many people think that conflict is the opposite of intimacy, but in reality, it is the cornerstone of a healthy relationship. That is, having healthy conflict strengthens our relationships by building trust and understanding. Research has told us that couples that handle conflict well, we can predict the success of their relationship. Disagreements allow partners to express their needs, to set boundaries, and to build greater understanding in how the other person feels. But avoiding conflict, well, that creates emotional distance, and navigating conflict with care actually strengthens trust. Poor conflict resolution is going to damage our intimacy, but the good news is the skills can be learned. Couples that have criticism, defensiveness, stonewalling, contempt, those types of actions, behaviors tend to have folks struggle in their relationship. But we do know that there are exercises that we can use, such as taking a deep breath, pausing before responding, is going to help our relationship. So, using I statements, and that's what I have down here on the slide, actually reduces blame and opens communication between you and another person. You could say something like, I feel unheard when I'm interrupted, rather than, you never listen, right? Active listening, reflecting back what you heard before you respond, ensures deeper understanding. The pause and reset method, taking 10 seconds before reacting, helps prevent escalation and fosters our thoughtful discussion. And again, I have a challenge for you. During your next disagreement, don't go out and pick a fight on purpose, but practice pausing and using I statements. Notice how it shifts the conversation. Conflict isn't something to fear, it's an opportunity to build greater intimacy through honest communication.